let's get into the OCs here, boys. All right, so what we decided to do with our little charts here, I'll set it up. I didn't hide names because I don't think there was a need to hide names in this particular situation, okay? So I wanted an SEC profile, right? Like what is successful in the SEC? How do these guys match up? How does their play calling work? Do they got great tempo? Do they recruit? Player development, quarterback development, adaptability. Obviously, we were unaware of those things. Okay. What else did I have here? Oh, explosiveness obviously is important for us. So the names that were mentioned that are being flown around, the one I did not add on here was Dabble because I haven't seen that name outside of a few people kind of just spurred it. These were like hot board names that I saw. Were Neil Brown, who worked at, I think he's at Texas currently, was at West Virginia, worked with Will Greer, which was extra points for myself. Buster Faulkner, I believe that he's currently at Georgia Tech. He was at Georgia. Joey Hazel is at Tennessee currently, worked with Hendon Hooker and Joe Milton. And then Cade Bell, which is Cade Bell Jr.'s, or Kerwin Bell, son, currently at Pitt. And then the top left is who just got hired as a head coach. Because I believe that Will Stein is probably would have been the number one offensive coordinator target. Not that we would target him, but if we're looking at top OCs in the country, how does the guys that we're targeting compare to them? Does that make sense?
Yes, sir.
And he just got hired, so that's a hell of a comparison. All right. Everyone has who they want. You can take a look at these charts. I mean, quick look at it. I would argue probably Neil Brown's probably the least sexiest one out of the four, right? Much smaller quadrant there. A lot of people love Cade Bell.
Yeah, he's jumping off the charts.
A lot of people love Cade Bell. Quarterback development's not as high. Play calling they like. Adaptability is good. Recruiting, impact, all about the same for everybody. And then Joey Hazel. So I'm gonna give you my pick because I've done a little more research than just what we see here. Okay. And I'm thinking again. I know we want explosive in these things, but also I'm understanding. Like I know Billy said complimentary football a lot. I like Buster Faulkner a lot. And the reason being is that the people who he's worked with, okay, he's worked with Stetson Bennett, worked with Carson Beck, and I feel like, well, Stetson Bennett made Stetson Bennett do a lot with very little in the sense of who Stetson Bennett was. And think about that offense when he was in Georgia. That offense was very adaptable, right? We don't necessarily need a guy to come up and Tennessee it, right? I'll give you my reasons I don't like Tennessee here in just a minute. That Georgia team had the ability to run the ball, move the ball, but also was complementary to a very phenomenal defense. So he understands what it's like to play for a defensive-minded coach in Kirby Smart. He knows how to complement that with his offense. He's already lived that world, right? Georgia Tech, I know, obviously it's been a little more limited. I think a lot of that has to do with probably who Haynes King is. And I think kudos to them because they realized their strength of Haynes King, and they doubled down into it. He didn't try to force his own style. So think about that. Everywhere he's gone, he's worked with the players that he's had. And that's what Sumrall said today is that we want to adapt our stuff to our players, not the other way around, where Billy tried to force people into his system.
Yeah.
Right? So all of those things were things that I liked from Buster. Joey Hazel's been a name that people liked a lot. It's very Alex Golesh-y-like. It's gimmicky, and it's not bad. But if you watch those Tennessee games, they come out, they'll put up 20 to 25 in the first half usually, because their scripted plays are phenomenal. But it's very easy to figure out. And once it gets dialed in, that's why Tennessee's been what they've been for the last 3 to 4 years under Heupel and these guys. Because when you come up against a good coach, it gets figured out. And if you got to go into a shootout, you're basically the game, though they can get out to an early lead, and then it's just, can that team catch up?
Yeah.
And if the other team has correct, too much, the gimmicks can only go so far. Cade Bell, I don't have really a negative word against it. Again, I think the Faulkner thing for me was also the SEC experience was huge. He's already coached in that world, and that was very, in my opinion, appealing. So, again, do I have all the answers? No. Will these guys be even it? Chip Kelly would be somebody that I loved. I would love Chip Kelly. Again, I am just picking the names that I saw, right? So these are the 4 names that I saw that were written about, and I was like, okay, well, there's probably some leverage here, I would assume. I don't think you're going wrong in any way. I think personally, Joey is probably the least viable candidate out of the 4 if I had to pick personally.
Where did you see these names come up at?
They're on three. I know Shane
Okay.
Matthews said it on his podcast this morning, and then I believe Keith Napier wrote about them as well, confirming the names. I think there was another
So
name that he
these
might have had on there, but
so
um,
these are more than likely guaranteed our top
I
guys
wouldn't
we're
guarantee
looking at.
anything because I don't know what to believe anymore. But that was my reason I felt good about making the charts because at least at
For
least
sure.
people had talked about them. Okay.
Yeah.
And again, a lot of them have great, a lot of them all have Power Four experience. Like, mind you, Neil Brown's at Texas right now. So I wouldn't
Mhm.
mind Neil Brown, worked with Will Greer. Neil Brown's quarterback list, let me say, I have it here, is very impressive. I'm pretty sure Neil Brown had one of his quarterbacks win a Heisman or was a Heisman finalist
Yeah.
in D2.
And I think that's big for us going into this new era to have a coordinator that actually works with the quarterback as well and not just depending totally on, just having your quarterback's coach. I need guys who offense is going to be designed for the quarterback to understand the guy's offense and know that it's running through him versus your head coach your offensive coordinator just being a coordinator calling plays, but doesn't work directly with your quarterback. The way we were set
Cade
up
Bell
last
did.
year, I totally didn't understand it. Billy's running the plays. We have an offensive coordinator, and then we have a quarterback coach. It's three different people in the guy's ear
Yeah.
telling them what to do at any given chance.
So Cade Bell had the Heisman finalist for FCS Heisman, Walter Payton Award, and Michael Hyers that threw for 3,500 yards at Sanford and 36 touchdowns with a 77% completion rate. He also had Fred Payton throw for 3,000 yards with 32 touchdowns and won SoCon Offensive Player of the Year. So I like that. Again, Buster had Carson Beck, which Carson Beck, I mean, outside of his mental capacity, was a very good quarterback. That was probably their best quarterback that Georgia's had in a
Yeah,
while, in the sense of just production wise, not the complete package. Let's not get it twisted. Um, he had Jeff
it,
Sims as well, and then of course now Haynes King, who he is really kind of growing into our eyes. So again, and that is
yeah,
probably sexy. Then Neil Brown had Will Greer for 3,900 yards, 37 touchdowns, was a Heisman candidate, second round NFL draft pick, and then he's still in the NFL, mind you, Will Greer,
for
but we'll call
sure.
that a Florida guy. He also had Brandon
It was
Silvers
great.
at Troy that threw for 10,000 yards at Troy. And also Chase Littleton threw for 8,000 yards, NFL prospect. So, and again, because that's going to be a big thing is who can come in and make well with
It
the
was great to
quarterback.
see what Will Greer did with his career after leaving here.
Yeah, no question. And Joey Hazel has Hendon Hooker, who I'm not a fan of, Joe Milton, who I think is ass, and Nico
It
Imalieve
was able
left
to
for a
turn them up,
reason.
yeah.
So to be honest with you, that's concerning to me. I'm going to be honest.
Yeah,
Like that, those were the least appealing. I don't feel like
yeah.
any of those impressed me at all from a quarterback standpoint. Hendon Hooker wasn't trash. I'm not gonna like I can't thrash him because he was a Heisman contender and threw for 3,500 yards. I just don't feel like it wasn't horrible. So I'm being a little harsh. But outside of that,
It's just
it didn't really go any
It's
further.
always hard for me to watch him because I hate him, so couldn't watch him too much.
Yeah.
But Cade Bell is a name that's been in Florida fans' radar for a long time. So I know a lot of people that love his offense.
Yeah, a lot of people like Cade Bell. That has a good quarterback. That's with him. I see in the chats too. Shelton, check Neil because I don't think he had anything to do with Will Greer. I'll double check. But the things that I looked up, I thought I saw he was there when he was there. I know that Neil Brown was at West Virginia. Um, I'll double check. Maybe I'm an idiot. Um, he was there from. Let's see.
Scott Frost.
Yeah, he's at
Says-
UCF right now.
yeah, someone said it. Someone say Scott Frost.
Now again, there could be someone else that I don't even know of, right? So yeah, he was there his final year. It looks like, unless my math's wrong. But anyhow, these are the names. I think it was a good way. Again, I don't think you really lose with any of these guys if you're able to get one of these. I think that would be a fantastic hire. Something I've been saying this entire time, though, strength and conditioning is going to be a huge one. I was even looking up strength and conditioning coaches today. That was something else I wanted to talk about as well because Those are gonna be the two things that I really keep an eye on. Defensive coordinator, I
for
think, is gonna
sure.
be important as well, but I think I trust him to make whatever decision he feels right. To be quite honest with you, there's a position group. I'm also gonna think. I think there's gonna be some guys that he retains on the staff. I would love to see
That's what we need.
Jaluk,
Ooh, yes.
Billy G
Yes.
stay. I wouldn't mind. I think Chapman will stay. He coached with him at
Um,
Tulane. I think that would be a hell of a keep as well.
mhm.
And it's someone that's able to come in, and we see the energy he brings, and now we know where it comes from. So that would be great. Peterson, I'm 50-50 on. I like what Mike Peterson's done, but I don't know if that he fits what we want to do or if that he'll adapt. I don't know. I haven't been completely blown away from our edge production, but I think part of it could be to the schematic system as well.
Yeah, it depends on the scheme that we bring for sure, if he
Yeah,
stays
I,
or
I
not.
wouldn't mind if Robert Bala stayed. I feel like the linebackers played fairly well, given, but also I don't know if it was just their God given talent that
I
did it
think
too.
I think we'll be bringing home Bam Harmon, former
That's right, from
Gator.
Tulane, right?
Yes, sir.
And he played for Florida.
Yes, sir.
I'd be okay with that. I'd
Yes,
be
my
okay with
big
that.
bro, man,
I don't know.
out there
Robert Bala didn't knock
fighting
my
still.
socks off or anything. No hate towards him. I don't really know him, but um, so the strength and conditioning is going to be huge. And I was looking around to see the top paid guys. Cody and I talked about today. Iowa would be a good one. Somebody Iowa's been there for 4 or 5 years. He's like the third highest paid. Like, go spend money, but go steal somebody.
For
Go
sure.
get somebody that's proven, that's done it for 4 or 5 years. Go look at Texas Tech guy, maybe because he's like at the lower end, but obviously they're kicking ass this year.
Yeah.
Michigan State, he's a highly paid. I don't know how they looked because they just sucked ass. I
Well,
don't
with the
know.
funds
It's
we giving right now or committed to it, we should be able to go steal somebody for sure.
Yeah, strength and conditioning is weird because you also want to get a guy that fits what you're trying to do. And so
Mhm.
it's hard to really get a grasp of who's the right guy. And that's going to be up to
Yeah.
them. I think I can't really we can judge it as best we can after the fact. But like I don't think Craig Fitzgerald, I think we were very excited when he got here, but I don't think he lasted. I don't know if what's going on with Boston College. They've gotten worse. Now, Bill O'Brien's the head coach there, so who knows what's going on, but it's hard
Hell,
to
who
know who the
Tulane
problem
strength and
is.
conditioning coach? It sound like he just need a bigger gym.
I mean, yeah,
Well,
because think about it. Like
from what I've heard, he couldn't really have his own workouts.
I just don't know how that would be accepted. But look, I mean, he's
Yeah,
doing
I know, right?
more with less right now, if you to
Yes.
think about it. And so we'll see. We'll see.
He
Yeah,
better
on the
have a
defensive
cool
side, I think
haircut
Summerall will
at
bring a lot of his
least.
guys, but I think he has to understand, like, there are some things you need to go get that has that experience to go. You need to go get other staff members from P4 to compete against, to understand what it's like to go up
Who
against
knows?
the Charlie Weisses of
Yeah,
the worlds, right? You have to have that. You can't bring an entire G5 group and expect them to be translated into. You just can't. You need a little bit.
yeah.
I don't mind
And
one
I
or
think he
two, but you
yeah.
got to have a mixture.
Yeah, I think he understands that, and he said he's not hiring friends, so he want people that's gonna be able to get the job done regardless of relationship, and I think that's very important.
You have $16.5 million. Don't go give. Don't go pay a G5 assistant what these guys are. Go spend it. Go spend it. Don't give Mark Hockey, and nothing against Mark Hockey as a person, but Mark Hockey, to remind you, came from Louisiana and was the highest paid strength and conditioning coach at the University of Florida from Louisiana, and had them boys doing yoga, and not even hot yoga with Lane. All right. So that's an issue. And I don't think even Tyler Miles is probably that bad.
Not
He's
as
just,
safe.
this is not a learn on the job. You cannot learn on the job here. And look, even though Summerall might be learning a few things, go put people around you that don't have to learn to help your learning process be better. You've got everything you've wanted. The $16.5 million was massive. The contract, we looked at it. The buyout was we did a phenomenal job, I would say, from Florida's side of it, the paper side of protecting ourselves a lot more on this one, and also still supporting the coach, which was good.
Yeah, and you as the head coach, you got to be just as hard on the coaches as you are on your players, and that's one thing I saw
Amen.
from Herb. He demanded the same out of the coaches. He would call them out, and I think that's what Summerall is here to do, to demand accountability out of everybody. If you're being paid to do this, then damn it, that's what need to be getting done. And if it's not, I'm going to address it.